My name is Pedro Funes-Whittington. I am a professional viol player and professional Baroque bass player. And in my day job, as they say, I am an orchestra director at a middle school, and this is my year 16 of doing this job. I am also the founding member of Les Touches. What got me into the viola da gamba was back in my undergrad year, junior year at the University of Houston. I was going through a phase that I was no longer interested in playing orchestra, and the bass wasn't my calling. Like it wasn't like I want to do something else. So I wanted to join the Collegium Musicum to do something different, to get my credit for ensemble playing. Matthew Durst was the director at that time of the Collegium Musicum, and he told me, "Well, I don't need a bass player. I need someone to play viola da gamba." And I looked it up. I did my research. I Googled it, and I found out that there was a group of people in Houston that would meet at Bill Pano's house on Thursday afternoons, around 3 or 4 o'clock, to read music for fun, like just a reading session. And I was introduced to the gamba more. I took one lesson with Barry Sills, and he said, I don't teach really." And so he told me to go study with Carter Crawford, who I loan a lot to. He taught me, and I worked on it, and I decided in that time that, oh, I want to pursue this professionally. I want to get a degree in this, and Carter helped me prepare for my auditions. That eventually, like in 2010, I went to Indiana to do my master's and study with Wendy Gillespie. So the first time I played consorts, it was an experience because you're sitting in a circle and everyone's all playing their part and they're all chipping in, and everyone has something important to say. It's not like, oh, well, the treble's got the melody and the tenor's got the weird viola part and the bass is over here just going to play quarter and then rest for 30 measures and come back again for another beat. Like everyone had an important thing, like ideas were passed around, harmonies sound so amazing. Like you need to sit in the middle of a viol consort session and just listen to all what's going on. It is something that you everyone needs to experience. Okay, everyone matters in viol consort. There's no just a hierarchy of who's the most important person or who's the whatever. Everyone matters. Everyone has an equal say, and that's what got me attention because it's like in orchestra world, first violins get everything. Bass just support foundation, and that's all they do. The cello sometimes gets something fancy, and the violas always get the awkward part, and then sometimes the really hard part on something impossible to play. um, my biggest influence in being a musician, well, to start out with, my parents and family are not musicians at all. The music wasn't a thing. They grew up in El Salvador, and it was always about work, 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 and supporting the family. And so when I was in fifth grade, I said, I don't want to be in choir. I don't want to sing. And so they started an orchestra program, and I started on violin for about 3 months or so. And then I decided that I want to be different because there was everyone played violin and one cello player. And I said, well, I want to try something different. And so I played the bass, and then that's why I stick with fifth grade. And I did it through all my years, from elementary, fifth grade, all the way to middle school and junior high. But my biggest influences for music was my orchestra teachers. Um, this is why I'm one right now because like they're a big influence on me in where I am today, and especially the high school director. Once we started doing the Corelli Concerto Grossi, I was like, oh, there's more interesting things out there, and that got me the bug early to do like early music and all that. And so that's what started. So I like to say it was orchestra directors that really were my biggest influence growing up. So, as someone who I mentioned before, um, started on double bass, really my favorite instrument to play is the treble viol, because here's the chance to to play more little high stuff on the instrument without having to like shift crazy above the frets, and it's easier to carry than a bass, you know. I don't have to like everyone's always like, don't you wish you played piccolo when you see you carrying a bass around, and it's like let's not even go there. But yeah, no, my favorite instrument to play is the treble. I do play all sizes, whatever is needed. I play them all professionally, but treble is my go-to. So I think what I mentioned before about consort music is that everyone has a voice. And I think that's different from going in like string quartets, what we know, and orchestra. This music is what I like to call democratic music. Everyone has a voice, everyone has an equal voice. Not one voice is more important than another. So trebles might start to say something, and then it gets passed around in a fantasia to the tenors, and then the tenors may pass it back to the trebles, and then they pass it back to then the best of the basses. So it's just going between, it's a conversation going on, ideas being passed around. You say this, you say that, it goes back around. Everyone's happy and everyone gets an equal say. There's no you're more important than this person. So that what really gets me, and what's different from Viol Consort compared to any other thing involving like with string instruments and all. So as I have also been doing 10 years now of doing viola da gamba at the high school and middle school. The most transformative performances for me that in my experience is when I take these students that I start from nothing, not knowing anything about the gamba, and I've done about 4 trips, and I take these groups to the Boston Early Music Festival, and I show the world like this is what they can do, and these kids enjoy the music. I don't have to do pop tunes, rock tunes, whatever to get them. Like they actually enjoy Renaissance music. To me, these are very inspiring performances because guess what? The old music does work. It still works. Um, yes, it's a little hard to introduce some concepts, like especially like if you do like the half note beat and all that stuff. But kids always enjoy this stuff, and just to watch them get to that level of enjoyment with this music, it to me that's very transformative because it's just like it is possible. Let's stop making excuses about this. An unexpected or funny moment, I always remember this. So I got my bow rehaired, and I'm not gonna say from where. Um, a month before we had our concert in Austin with Les Touches, it was me and Stephanie, and we were doing a little performance at Tarot Violin Shop. And we got to the last song, which was John Come Kiss Me Now. And I was playing the bass line while Stephanie was playing on the violin, going through all the variations. Halfway through the song, the bow just pops. Like the plug came out, hairs, all that stuff. No time to react because, as they say, the show must go on. Bow on the floor, bow on the floor, and then we go to pizzicato like a jazz style. Like we just did it. Like we're not gonna play that game. And I made sure not to make a reaction like, what happened? Like, no, go and do it. So to me, that was like the most unexpected. And I always remember it. And I always make sure, like, is the bow going to work? It's going to be fine and all that stuff. So, yeah. uh, Projects that I'm looking forward to, as many of you know, like, I'm like all about the English music, like, all about it. So, this project that we have called Tears of Sorrow and Joy is like all the pieces that I feel everyone will enjoy. Okay, I didn't pick any pieces for scholarly purposes or research paper that I'm working on. I chose pieces that I thought legit people would enjoy. Goes through different emotions of, as CC says, sorrow and joy. Um, all of it involving viols and voice and some violin. So that's what I'm really looking forward to. We have the same editions too as well in May for our concert with Spanish music involving same instrumentation, also with adding violin. And then for that Spanish concert, we're doing also music of Latin America as well. And you'll get to hear some pop tunes of current music time in May on viols. And it will work. It'll be amazing. And I hope to see you there at those performances. The good part is that we'll have preview concerts at the Houston Public Library before those concerts. So we have like a few performances in March and a few in May to get us ready for the big show. But we're spreading the word. We're going to spread the gospel of all this music out to the communities. If I could collaborate with anyone, ever since I heard about the Gamba and I heard recordings of viol consorts, I have been gaga about wanting to play with very professional English consort ensembles like Phantasm, Fretwork, the Rose Consort Viols. Even in America, here we have Phantasm. Um, these are that's my dream, is to play in those ensembles. Like ever since I learned about the Gamba, it's like I want to play. I want to play in these groups. Like I want to just sit in it, even if I'll play like the Anomone line or something like